Now it's time for business. Let's say hello to Yuka Royer.
Hi, Francois.
Not every day you see Tim Cook in court.
Well, it's the first time ever that he makes a court appearance, and it's been billed as his most expensive court appearance that is going to be. Now, Apple's chief executive is defending his company's policy over its App Store in a high-profile antitrust trial with Epic Games now nearing its end. Now, the saga started last summer when Epic's Fortnite game was kicked out of App Store after it introduced its own in-app payment system. The developer sued Apple, saying its policy of forcing app providers to pay commission to the iPhone maker violated antitrust laws. Apple's chief executive today told judges that iPhones are more exposed to threats than Mac computers because people use them all the time and therefore need tighter protection and control. Claire Rush has more.
The high-profile tech case was launched last year when Epic Games sued Apple for removing Fortnite from the App Store. Fortnite, a popular video game made by Epic, was featured on the App Store for 2 years, but it was kicked off the platform after Epic introduced its own system for in-app payments. In its lawsuit, Epic alleges the iPhone maker abuses its power over developers by forcing them to use Apple's in-app payment system, which charges commissions of up to 30%.
At the heart of this question is whether or not Apple can limit competition to its App Store. Whether Apple can say, we're going to be the only App Store, we're going to be the only quality control check on the apps that come through, and you always have to pay us some tax in order to get your apps or get your payments through iOS.
Since the iPhone's debut in 2007, the App Store has become a key revenue source for Apple. Since 2016, the annual revenue of its services division has more than doubled, totaling some $54 billion last year. The commissions on Fortnite alone netted the tech giant more than $100 million. Apple defends the commissions as a way to help pay for security and privacy protections. It also argues that its rates are similar to those charged by Google on its App Store, as well as by other gaming platforms such as Microsoft's Xbox. The antitrust trial comes as Apple faces growing criticism from developers. The tech giant's exclusive control over the App Store is already under investigation by regulators and lawmakers in Europe and the US.
Down 1.3% as Tim Cook made that vital court appearance. More broadly on Wall Street, the Dow and the S&P have extended their recovery from a sell-off earlier in the week, but the tech-heavy Nasdaq are dragging behind, as you can see there. European shares ended the week on a mixed note after a fairly calm trading session following a strong recovery that was seen on Thursday. Now, earlier, Francois, you mentioned that G20 summit where they discussed how to address the bridge, the growing divide over vaccines between rich and poor nations. Now, also at the summit, China promised $3 billion in aid over the next 3 years, and the International Monetary Fund proposed a $50 billion plan to end the health crisis with a target of vaccinating at least 40%, 2/5 of the global population by the end of the year. The IMF's plan then aims to increase that figure to 60% of the world's population to be vaccinated by the end of 2022, a rather ambitious goal. The international body says that additional funding, of course, for the COVAX scheme will be needed to achieve that target. Now, some European finance ministers gathered for the virtual G7 meeting welcomed the US proposal for a global corporate tax at the rate of 15%. The US Treasury Department said on Thursday it would accept a minimum rate lower than its initial target of 21% for US multinational firms. The idea is to stop them from shifting their profits to lower tax countries by moving their headquarters there. France, Germany and Italy say the proposal is a good basis for negotiating an international deal that's being hoped to be achieved by the summer. Here's the French finance minister speaking earlier.
The key question is not the figure. Even if we can live with 15%, it can be a good compromise between the different expectations of all members of the OECD. The key question is to define a global framework for digital taxation and minimum taxation, and to have a political agreement no later than the G20 of Venezia in Italy at the beginning of July.
Global tax rate 15%, not 21, but still better than nothing.
It's more than 12 that we have right now in Ireland. Many thanks, Yuka Royer.